How you doing? Here are my top picks for the new Saga Sector. So keep in mind, if you do go to Incursions and pick a champions for it, you need to filter and see the symbol right here. This is a Fantastic Four symbol. You want to make sure you choose that. So this is the second time I'm making this video that my top picks for the new Saga Sector that is not Angela. I had to redo this video because I saw MCOC Noob make a video when it comes to the new Saga Sector talking about Incursion, and it really upsets me. He has no idea what he's talking about. It just makes me sad. This is the second time I've seen him make a video when it comes to the Incursion, which he had no idea what he's talking about, and over 5,000 people have seen it. So 5,000 people have been misled when it comes to MCOC's new video when it comes to the Incursion. That's why I'm making this video again. So what am I talking about? So let me just go to the video or the screenshot. So he's talking about a power sting build right here, and he has Spider Woman, which I think is one of the best champions for this Incursion, and you have Scream on the right side, as you could see, and Gore Morbius. I'm not sure what Warlock is doing here, but he has a power sting build. Okay, this is with bleed and sting. So on the room of first hack, he chose special counter and hemostatic charge. Okay, I would not pick that. You should not pick special counter. You should pick title combat over hemostatic charge. And room 4, he said there's entropic shield. There is no entropic shield in room 4, and I'm going to explain what that means a little bit later. Same thing here. He talked about here, there is no buff cornucopia in room 4. Okay, and you can, and room 8, you're not going to be able to choose toxic siphon and martial artist again. And same thing here, you're not going to be able to pick martial artist and rage into combat. I'm going to explain why. So I've also seen this in the comments. They refreshed the screen and they said they don't get, it didn't change, and they thought it was a bug. And let me explain what that means. So another thing I want to say, you might hear kids in the background screaming. I live next to a school. It's definitely could be annoying for sure. I have to hear them. I think they have recess like 2 or 3 times a day, and you can just hear them screaming, and I'm okay with that, I guess, because kids will be kids. And I've thought about, jeez, 100 times tell the school to tell the kids to keep it down, but you know what, kids will be kids. So if you hear kids in the background, that's what it is. So let's go back to the video. So here, when it comes to milestone 35, I made a video why you should not do Saga Sector right now. It's because of this. So they're gonna give you more access to hacks. So right now, when it comes to the Saga Sector, it is very limited and it's very like poor design, I would say. So let me explain more details what I mean by that. I know a lot of people have been confused on how to get to the Saga Sector. So when you choose the team, I think I said this earlier. Let me just go to here. You got to go to this symbol. It's called the Fantastic Four. If I'm not, these are my top picks. If I'm not going to use Angela, so I'm going with Morbius, and Scream. This is my power sting build. So where is Scream? She should be here. Somehow I missed her. Wow. Okay, there she is. So there you go. Personally, I wouldn't mind going with Sentry. Like, Sentry is not bad, but as you can see, they're all science, and also Sentry is not my type of playstyle. Maybe later on, if you run into Freezer Burn, it wouldn't be a bad idea to choose Sentry, but he is a built-up character. You want to try to get him to 10 charges as soon as possible when it comes to Sentry. Keep that in mind. So this is going to be my team if I'm not going to choose Angela, and this is going to be the power sting build as well. As I already mentioned earlier, I think it has something to do with milestone 35 will give you more choices of hacks, because right now it's just poorly designed because you are so limited for the hacks. So let me explain. As you can see, when you get to the first zone, you're only going to have 5 choices, and this is going to be the only choices you'll have. So if you're going to build a power sting, do not pick special counter over title combat. There's absolutely no anywhere in the game mode, why special counter is better than title combat. Because title combat will give you furies, will increase your damage from hemostatic charge. Also, if I had Spider Woman, which I think she is one of the best champions for the Saga sector, she inflicts non-damaging debuff, which will turn into fury buffs. That's why you want to pick title combat. Okay, so now you go to the second one. When it comes to zone 1, you get all the choices, but as you can see, it's perfect, which is good. The first 4 right here, since you already picked title combat, it's not there anymore. As you can see, try to avoid picking any of these, and I'm going to explain why later on. So I'm going to pick, since I'm picking a power sting build, I'm going to pick hemostatic. As you can see here, this is modified attack. So the higher your attack is going to be, the stronger the damage burst will be. That's why you want to have as much fury buffs as you can, because that will be more stronger when it comes to your power sting. So I'm going to pick power sting here because I have a power sting build. So let me tell you what I mean by this. So the hacks are very limited. So we're going to go to zone 4. So I'm just finishing a fight with Angela. We're in zone 4. So once she's finished, we're going to take a look at the zone 4 hacks. As I mentioned, when it comes to this Saga sector, it's very limited. As you can see here, you're only going to have 4 choices. So you're only going to have 4 choices in the first 4 zones. Okay, so if I'm going with the power sting build, not with Angela, then I would pick the special counter right here. That will help you if you have a power sting build like Morbius, Spider Woman, and Scream. That's going to be a very good hack for them. So what happens when you, this is pretty much your limited. So let's say in this case I do pick Defense Cascade, but because I'm using Angela. But let's say you pick special counter, it doesn't really matter. On the next one, when you go to zone 8, you're only going to be limited to 3 choices. And let me show you what I mean. So this is coming from Chewboom. As you can see, he's about to pick the first hack from zone 8, and you're only going to be limited to 3 choices. Okay, so you're pretty much for zone 1, zone 4, and zone 8. When you go to the first hack, you're only limited to 5 choices, and you pick one of them, and then you're going to be zone 4, you're only going to be limited to 4 choices, and then the zone 8, you're only going to be limited 3 choices, which you see here. So when you re-roll the hack, it's not a bug. I know somebody made a comment on that. You're only going to get the same hack. It's not going to switch. So very important reminder to keep that in mind. So in this case, I would pick Defense Cascade out of the 3 if I was going to be picking the Power Sting build with Spider Woman, Morbius, and Scream if I had Spider Woman anyways. So just make sure you put a filter of Fantastic Four when you're choosing the champions. These are my top picks. That is not Angela. So I like Morbius. Morbius is definitely a great champion, one of the best for sure when it comes to Incursion, not just Saga Sector, but definitely, obviously, he's available for the Saga Sector when it comes to Morbius. He's also Diablo, I heard, is pretty good when it comes to Saga Sector. I think Sentry is going to be good as well, but not my playstyle. Maybe you'll enjoy playing him, but just not for me. I think Toxic Siphon is going to be good for Sentry, and Second Chance. I think with Second Chance, when it comes to Sentry, especially you have him Awaken at Max Sig, he's going to go really far from you. You're almost like immortal with Second Chance if you have him at Max Sig Awaken. So he's going to be good if you want to use him, but just not my playstyle. I think when it comes to Sentry, Tigra, I think Tigra could be good. I just not my playstyle. If you're really skilled player, I just don't see why Tigra will not be a bad option. Will be a bad option here. I think she's gonna be a good option as long as you know how to play her. Captain America, I think she could be good as well. Don't really know what hacks to choose for her, so it's Tigra. Second Chance, you can't go wrong with any champion in the game. If you don't know what hacks to use, just use Second Chance. And Defense Cascade, I think that was probably the 2 choices you would have if you're not sure which to pick for a champion. So Thing is good, very good in Incursion, but the problem with Thing is, when it comes to Thing, You know, you really want him awaken at max sig, but the problem with thing is he's not gonna trigger his protection in incursion if you're only going to zone 15. So if you go past zone 15, he's very good incursion because he's always triggering his protection, especially if you run liquid courage. He's gonna constantly heal from willpower. So I would not bring thing if you're only going to zone 15 in the Saga sector. Sandman, even though they nerfed Tyro Combat, I think he's still gonna be good in incursion when it comes to Sandman. Red Skull, I've seen a lot of people use Red Skull. He's going to be very good because he has a lot of armor up buffs, and with the defense cascade plus 50% stun duration, you can pretty much stun lock opponent the entire time unless they have a node that kind of like has stun immune or like that can reduce your stun duration. But he's good, like I said, if you're gonna use Red Skull, defense cascade #1 hack for him for sure, and plus 50% stun duration. And when it comes to Gallon, I've seen Gallon people use Gallon. I know Cantona used Gallon, but he's one of the best players in the world, and he also has a 7-star rank for Awaken one. So he could be good, since if you're only going to zone 15, the health pool is not that high. So I'm not really sure if I would pick him, but I think he could be good. And if you're going with Angela, Odin, and Gallon in your team, he might still be helpful for your team as well. Superior Iron Man is good for incursions since he got buff. They did nerf buff Cornucopia, but I think he's still going to be good. And when it comes to Hyperion, the OG Hyperion, he's always been good for incursions. I would go with buff Cornucopia since he has a lot of buffs, and I think Defense Cascade for the first zone hack is very good for him when it comes to Hyperion. I've seen a lot of people use Bastion because he's gonna be good for Biohazard, Cow Drops, or any champion that inflict bleed or poison since 100% resistant. So I don't mind. I think Bastion could be good for incursion. Count Nefaria, I've always think that he was good, not just in incursion in general, but I've seen people use Count Nefaria. Second Chance is obviously is gonna work for him really well, but title combat maybe, I'm not really sure. Besides that, maybe Toxic Siphon as well. Dark Phoenix, there's a good chance if you're watching this, you probably don't have Dark Phoenix, but I knew she was going to be great for incursion because of her immortality and her safeguard abilities. When it comes to Gore, Gore is like a lesser version of Okoye and Morbius. Like if Okoye and Morbius had a child, this is pretty much Gore. It's like he's got a hybrid both of them, but not a strong version of them, a lesser strong version. So I think he's going to be good with Hemostatic and what else? Tide of Combat when it comes to Gore. So Odin, of course, if you're going to use Angela, why bring Odin? But at least the 4-star, but I don't recommend using 4-star in Saga Sector unless you're just using it for synergy purposes like for Angela. But I've seen people use Odin. I heard he's pretty good. I don't really use him, but I've heard he's pretty good. When it comes to Quicksilver, maybe with Fury Burst, he could be good. Obviously, Second Chance. And Scream, as I already mentioned earlier, why she's good for incursion. Silver Surfer, I heard he's good with Bob Cornucopia. Spider-Woman, I wish I had this champion. I knew during Deep Dive this champion was going to be very good in incursion. That's before they nerfed Title Combat. I think even though they nerfed Title Combat and Special Counter, I think she's still going to be good. And I thought she was going to be better than Silk when she came during Deep Dive. So a lot of people are using her. I wish I have her for sure. So that's it. These are my top picks for the new Saga Sector. Anything else? That's about it. I think so. The last thing, if you have any other champions you want to use, let me know. I'll tell you what's the best hack for them. Thank you.